Quick snap! This quick snap is going to take a look at the concept of backfitting your linebackers off of a guard key. And what that means, the terminology backfitting, is simply if the guard steps one way, the linebacker is going to fit opposite. And this is for anytime you get that guard stepping straight ahead on some sort of drive block, base block, on block, down block. It eliminates that confusion between, is that a down block and I'm on the play side of something, or is that a zone scoop block and I'm on the back side of something. It's simply just telling that linebacker where his initial fit needs to be off of a single guard key. And this has been an ongoing thread on CoachHuey.com, which is a great resource for coaches for the past 12 years that I've been a member there. I've been able to meet a lot of different coaches and learn a tremendous amount from multiple colleagues that just made me a better football coach, helped me understand the game of football better. This particular thread was started by a guy who goes by the username of Silky Ice. Really appreciate everything that he's put on there. He's shared some film of his teams and given me things to consider over the past 12 years or so, however long I've actually known him on CoachHuey.com, and appreciate all that he has done and so many colleagues out on CoachHuey.com. Regardless of whether or not you call this concept backfitting the linebackers, which refers that they're playing behind the blocks of a zone, this is a great way to teach linebackers simple yet sound reads based off the guard that they're keying. If that guard steps to the right, the linebacker is going to fit to the left. If that guard steps to the left, the linebacker's fitting to the right. If the guard bucket or pulls left, that linebacker's fitting the first open window to the left. If the guard buckets or pulls to the right, the linebacker's fitting the first open window to the right. And that's all the concept is. How do I get the linebacker to play fast, to get downhill, to fit the appropriate gap before he goes about block destruction and pursuit and all the other things that are part of linebacker play. So a couple examples of these fits against different schemes. Zone to the defensive left. Will linebacker's guard is stepping to his left. He's fitting the A gap to the right. Mac linebacker guard is stepping left. The Mac linebacker is going to fall back to the right, play off the 5 technique. 5 technique comes down, either spills split zone or tackles the give. The Mac linebacker is going to play the spilled split zone or the quarterback key. Zone to the defensive right. Will linebacker's guard steps to the left. Coach has his 5 technique, 2 gapping or working across the face of that offensive tackle. The will linebacker knows he can step to the left and take the open A gap. Mac linebacker's guard steps to the left. He knows he can fall back and play off the 5 tech, either chasing the give, the dive, or spilling split zone to that Mac linebacker in C gap. Stretch to the defensive left. Both guards are bucket stepping left. Both the Will and Mac are fitting first open gap to the left. Stretch to the defensive right. Bucket steps by both guards. Both Will and Mac linebackers are running and fitting first open gap to the right. GT, play side that Mac linebacker's guard is stepping left. He's going to fit the first open window to the right. The 5 tech comes down and spills the pulling guard. The Mac linebacker is going to fit right outside of that. Will linebacker gets a pull to the to the right. He's going to match that and find the first open window. Flip it on the other side. Will linebacker's guard steps to the right. Will linebacker is going to work to the left and again play off that 5 tech, hopefully spilling the guard. And the Mac linebacker has his pull to the left. He's going to fit the first open gap to the left, which is going to be that open A gap. If you have seen previous videos on this channel, you know that I prefer to play an odd front, and I really think it's the best way to coach linebackers to have that fill if My guard steps to the right for this left inside linebacker. I'm going to fit to the left of that guard. If my guard is pulling to the left for the right inside linebacker, I'm going to fit to the left. If you combine those linebacker reads with two gapping defensive linemen in our zero technique and our four technique, who are also playing what's called a leg technique, where they're focused on striking the offensive linemen in them, knocking them back, and disrupting pullers, which can be a big-time bonus. And then once they feel the outside pressure of the double team, they're flipping their hips and fitting those gaps. It can be really effective against gap schemes because you get that fill by the play side linebacker, and then you get that scrape and overlap by the backside linebacker. If the front changes, the read doesn't change. That left inside linebacker now in our 6-3-0 3-6 front, that left inside linebacker's guard steps right. He's fitting the first open window to the left, typically underneath the down block of the tight end. The right inside linebacker has a pull to the left. He's fitting the first open gap to the left. A's closed, B's closed, C's closed, D's closed. Keep on running until you get to an open window. And then lastly, if the double team happens on the 3 technique as opposed to the 0 technique, the left inside linebacker's guard is stepping to the left, so he's going to fit to the right and run through that open A gap. That's happening typically because the 0 technique, unless he's on some sort of called movement, he will get reached if he's playing that leg technique where he's worried about primarily knocking the center backwards. The only thing I'm going to try and focus on in the next couple clips is that one of our linebackers is reading his guard step inside, so he is fitting just outside that guard and typically in an open B gap, and the other linebacker is reading a pull, so he's going to scrape with that pull and look for an open gap. End zone shot. Here's our fill. Here's our scrape. And it's those simple back fit rules that I was talking about. Step opposite the guard on a down block or some sort of base block, on block where he's heading straight ahead and staying on my side. Follow pull. Here I think we're headed to the bottom of the screen. Our linebacker could be a little more downhill, but he does fit the correct gap. Guard steps right, fit left. Guard pulls left, scrape left. Fill in our scrape and overlap. Guard is stepping to the right of the will linebacker. He's fitting to the left. Guard is pulling left. Our MAC linebacker is going to scrape and overlap to the left. Even though we get knocked off the ball at the 5 tech, we end up making a stick for a 2-yard gain. So we've got guard stepping to the right, linebacker fits to the left. We don't have a pull right now, so our other linebackers continuing downhill, preventing a cutback. We hit the open B gap, and our play side linebacker makes a tackle for no gain with a little help from the outside linebacker. This clip is trapped to the defensive left. The linebacker on the left has a guard step to his right, so he fits tight to the left and plays downhill, ends up making the tackle for about a 4-yard gain. Not a perfect play by any means. We end up getting trapped at our 5 tech here. But if that linebacker's not downhill, keying that guard, stepping opposite of that guard and fitting tight, this play probably goes for another 6 or 7 yards until a backside pursuit can help out and hopefully make the tackle. So again, guard steps to the right, linebacker fits to the left of that and runs into the trap. Another trap, this time to our defensive right. The right inside linebacker's guard steps to his left. He fits to the right. The left inside linebacker has a pull to the right. He is scraping and overlapping to fit the first window on the right. End zone clip. See a real good freeze of it. he starts to fit to his left, ends up inside the down block of the tackle, closes that window. Our backside linebacker scrapes over the top, following that pull, and we get all four of our linebackers actually tackling the trap out in D-gap. Quarterback follow to the defensive left. Left inside linebacker has his guard step down. He fits opposite that to the left of it. And the right inside linebacker has his guard pulling to the left, so he's scraping for the first open window to the left. We get a real good scrape and overlap, and I think the inside linebacker gets in on the tackle here. So fitting downhill on the play side, and we've got our scrape and overlap from the backside, which makes sure the ball spills all the way out to the perimeter, and a lot of running just for a 3-yard gain. We have had success backfitting against inside zone where we're angling away from the running back. So we got our 4 in C gap, our 0 in A gap, and our 4 reducing and filling the backside B gap. Left inside linebacker's guard steps left, he fits to the right. Right inside linebacker's guard steps to his right, he fits to the left. If we are not on a movement, we would have the guard stepping to the left inside linebacker's left, he's going to fit to the right. And then the right inside linebacker's guard is stepping to his left, so he's going to fall back to the right. The 4 is going to play the C gap. If the B gap gets closed because the 4 squeezes that down block of the tackle, that right inside linebacker sees his guard step left, he's going to step right, read closed window, and scrape outside in case the ball winds back. Meanwhile, that left inside linebacker's guard step left, so he's fitting to the right. This clip has us angling from the defensive left. So our fit up front with our defensive line is going to be movement to the defensive right. Inside linebacker on the top of the screen has his guard working to his right side, so he's going to fall back to the left. Linebacker on the right side has his guard work to his left, so he's going to fit to the right of that guard. Ends up hitting the open A gap, and him with some help from the outside linebacker makes the stick for a 1-yard gain. Once again, we are angling from the left, so the defensive line is on a movement to the defensive right. The linebacker on the right side has his guard stepping and working to his right side, so he's going to fall back to the left. The linebacker on the left side has his guard step to the left, so he's going to fit to the right. Be nice if he drove a little harder through that guard coming off the block late and really making sure that that ball carrier has to cut more violently to his back, and then the outside linebacker ends up falling in and making the tackle for a 1-yard gain. We would have had a tackle for loss if that 4-tech trusts and works inside to the dive. If you set the 3 technique to the running back, you can end up with a very similar fit to running an odd front and angling away from that running back. What I really like about that is if that 2-eye can get a lot of penetration in the A gap, the left inside linebacker, if initially reading his guard, stepping to his right and fitting to the left, he can fall back and become a bonus player, helping tackle in the A gaps, while that right inside linebacker is keying his guard, stepping to his right and fitting to the left in that open A gap. If the 2-eye gets set to the running back, the fit still ends up working out. I just don't like that the center really kind of gets the tee off on the left inside linebacker a little bit more, but the read still works out where the guard steps left, the left inside linebacker knows he needs to fit the A gap to that right, and the right inside linebacker's guard steps to his left, so he needs to fit the first open window to the right. If the 5 technique squeezes down and chases the dive, that means the right inside linebacker will sit there and play the quarterback keep. Now we are aligned in our even front. Our 3 technique is going to squeeze into the A gap, and we're going to bring our linebacker to the bottom of the screen. We still end up having the linebacker to the top of the screen, keying his guard, who steps down into the left of that inside linebacker. The inside linebacker pulls his trigger and fits to the right. Is the first guy to be part of the tackle. Real nice job by our 2-eye working to the ball, and the 5 technique helping out as well. We'll have zone to the defensive left. Left inside linebacker's guard steps to his right, so he's going to fit to the left. The right inside linebacker's guard steps to his right, so he's going to fit to the left. Our play side linebacker misses the tackle. Could have been about a 0 or 1 yard gain, and our other inside linebacker is able to get over the top and become part of the tackle late because he knows he can fit to the left of his guard. Thanks for checking out this quick snap on Coaching Football with Brian Klee. Please follow me on Twitter at Coach Klee. Subscribe to the channel, Coaching Football with Brian Klee, by clicking down below. And if you have any further follow-up questions, email me at coachbrienklee@gmail.com.